Meningitis is a rare but deadly infection of the outer layer of the brain and spinal cord. The virus or bacteria finds its way into the body and immediately travels to these sensitive membranes and plants itself within the cerebral spinal fluid. There are two types of meningitis. The first is a viral infection, which is mild and clears up within a week or so. The second, and much more dangerous type, is a bacterial infection. This type attacks more quickly and can lead to seizures, coma, neurological damage, and death. There are two bacterial species that account for the vast majority of bacterial meningitis. N. meningitis, which causes meningococcal meningitis, or S. pneumoniae, which causes pneumococcal meningitis. Bacterial meningitis is rare in the U.S., only causing about 3,000 cases per year. However, 12% die from the infection, and nearly 100% of those who survive end up with permanent neurological damage or have to undergo an amputation. This is spread through air particles or direct human contact. It is an aggressive disease with symptoms presenting usually in the first day or two after the infection invades the system. Common symptoms of bacterial meningitis include high fever, headaches, stiff neck, nausea, seizures, sensitivity to light, confusion, fatigue, and other neurological symptoms. It is important to obtain medical attention as soon as these symptoms present to receive antibiotics immediately. Failure to do so will most likely result in rapid death. Every year there are terrifying news reports of perfectly healthy individuals that complain of a headache or earache and die in the next day from this infection. Children and college students tend to contract this most often because they spend the majority of their time in close quarters with others. These news episodes have promoted many schools and universities across the country to develop a meningitis response plan in the event of an incident or outbreak. Many universities are even looking at adding a vaccine for this to their required immunization list for incoming freshmen. Meningitis can be caused by other bacteria from different infections such as herpes or hepatitis. Diagnosis of this variety has continued to fluctuate in recent years, but bacterial meningitis rates have started to decrease since the vaccine protecting against pneumococcal meningitis was introduced to the U.S. in 2000. While infection rates have always been fairly low in the U.S. and are beginning to decrease even more, other areas of the world, such as northwestern Africa, still see bacterial meningitis as a devastating epidemic. This area, or the area of highest infection, stretches from Senegal to Ethiopia and is known as the meningitis belt. One of the biggest problems in this part of the world is that people here are malnourished and live in very harsh conditions, so their immune systems are weak and have trouble maintaining immunomemory to protect against reinfection. In 2006 alone, there were 40,000 reported bacterial meningitis cases in this region. In 2009, 78,000 cases, including 4,000 deaths, were reported in the African meningitis belt region. This is the highest reported number in 12 years. While the World Health Organization is trying to bring vaccines and antibiotics to this region, they only currently have 6 million vaccine doses and need about 80 million to properly address the problem. As meningitis is being confronted on an international level, legislation at home regarding prevention and education about the disease is being re-examined. The vaccine is offered at many universities throughout our country, but students forget to take them or are too busy to schedule an appointment to receive their dose. As a direct result of several devastating campus outbreaks, it is now mandated that universities must vaccinate every incoming freshman in 20 states. If a student refuses, there must be documentation that the school advised against this and that they took steps to educate the student about the importance of the vaccine. There are two types of vaccine that address pneumococcal meningitis. One is advised for children and the other is better suited for adults. The vaccine was introduced to our country in 2000 and has greatly reduced the number of annual meningitis infections. This vaccine also protects against other pneumococcal-related diseases like bacteremia and pneumonia. Children under 2 are recommended to have 2 doses of the vaccine, and those over 2 can take 1 dose. A supplemental booster dose may also be required before entering college or when traveling to some regions of the world. All children under 2 Immunocompromised individuals and all those living in tight quarters with many people, such as college or a retirement home, should receive this vaccine. As with any vaccine, there is some risk of minor side effects, which in this case only take place in under 10% of recipients. The benefits of receiving this vaccine far outweigh any risk. Protect yourself and those around you by getting vaccinated as soon as possible.